So once we get past that, we have the applications, and the applications are really fun. Now remember, you can install additional applications using installation packages that are available from Synology.com. You can go and check which ones are available and which ones would be useful to you. So you have the standard DLNA and UPnP media player. You can set quite a few options that might be overwhelming at first. However, you know, these need to be there for the more advanced users. In general, just enabling the UPnP will be more than sufficient for most users. There's an iTunes servers enabled, so you can turn your Synology NAS into an iTunes music server. There's an audio station integrated itself, which also works, by the way, with an iPhone application you can download from the iTunes store. There's a photo station that equally works with the application that you can download from the iTunes store and actually gives you a slideshow of the images that you store on the NAS. There's a download station, which most people will be happy to learn about, which we're going to enable right now. Which volume we want to store data to is here, and we can enable emule downloads or leave it alone. So we're just going to click OK here and show you a bit more about this later on. As with many NAS today, you can actually turn your NAS into a surveillance station, and if you enable it, you will actually load the software that has the surveillance stations in it. You still will have to require some cameras that work with the Synology NAS server, and then place them around and see your videos right here on the interface once enabled. The backup services are quite well covered. There's a backup for rsync based, there's an incremental backup, there's an application on the PC in which you can send files to the NAS automatically, scheduling and stuff like that. So it's quite well covered. However, I still would love to see a way to sync, for instance, the DS1010 with the DX510 and make an exact copy to each other, which would be one of the benefits such a concept of having two units work together would be great. And it would be great. I'm lost in my words there, but never mind that. Configuration of backup is of course always backup driven. We can just select the backup here, create a new backup, and then just follow the wizard, which is one of the things Synology does well actually. So let's just call it MPC Club the wizard, and as you can see in the next tab, you can actually select one of the backups you have, including the Amazon S3, a network backup with an rsync compatible service, a network backup itself, or a local backup, and then just copy an external disk to a shared folder or the other way around, which is not going to play around too much with this right now. Finally, we have of course the external devices, USB disks. Remember, there's 4 USB ports that you can use to connect the printer or an extra hard drive. At this time nothing is connected. eSATA disk, of course, we lost our eSATA port because we added a DX510 connected to the unit. There's a USB printer option, and of course the UPS itself, which we are not using at this time. So this kind of completes the interface options that you have to configure the unit, but there's a lot more inside the applications that you can use. As you can see, the applications you enable will come up here: the download station, surveillance station, and the file station. We can administer, shut down, and restart from the interface, or just log out or go back to the desktop. Let me see if that works. And this is the desktop. Now, you know previously where I stated there's only 2 items. As you can see, the more items you actually do enable, the more icons will be available here. So if we go back to the management now, I'm just going to quickly show you some of the applications, like the download station. Now, the download station was enabled, and you can see we will store any files downloaded by the download station to our first volume. The reason why I like this feature so much is that it integrates with all kinds of applications. So if we go to the download station, I can actually show you a little bit more about it. You can create a new tasks and destination folder, of course, media, for instance. There we go, and then we can start creating a new item. You can open a file which is a download NZB or URL spontext, and URL spontext will actually allow you to batch upload a bunch of files. You can enter a custom URL, you can enter your username and password, or even enter an RSS URL to download from. So this is quite advanced. However, in the settings you will learn how complete this unit actually operates. One thing we have here is send an email notification upon task completion. I would like to see this changed into something like shut down the server when the downloads are completed. I mean, if you can send an email upon a task completion, you can also send a shutdown command easily. You can schedule a daily basis from what time the download should be available, start and stop time. It is not configurable day by day, and this is actually sad because it could use with some better scheduling backup support. Now, the BitTorrent, HTTP, FTP, and NZB settings, you can actually create a task just in the way that you would do as I've shown you before. However, in the settings you will learn about how powerful this unit is. As you can see, you have rapid share integration, you have mega upload, you have NZB download, and you have the regular BitTorrent. You can set a max up and download rate, and you have protocols and port configuration, and you got all kinds of stuff that you can configure here. The only thing that may be missing here is hot file support, which is a very popular download site as well and could be added here as well. Of course, this is the online management, and as you can see, you can already do a lot. However, there's also an application you can install on your PC that will actually catch the links you click via web browsers and then pass it on to the Synology server, much like a regular internet download manager. So the download part is really well covered on Synology, and I even think it's one of the most complete options out there on a NAS server that you will be able to find. So this kind of concludes everything I wanted to tell you about the interface and all the options that you have, the configuration. Obviously, the NAS is easy to handle, however, it could improve in some ways to prevent some issues, be more clear about the options you have, and in few cases we felt like the solutions that were provided are mainly to provide the solutions and not necessarily work in the way it would be best for us. So I hope Synology will keep improving their disk station manager in the future firmware updates. But nonetheless of this, the price is very good for these units compared to the competition, and the unit actually operates quite well. So the only thing I will still show you now is the actual performance that we reach on this unit, and we will be testing both drives. So we will test first the DS1010 Plus with Atto Benchmark, and then actually do the same test and see if the extension pack that is connected over eSATA to the base unit will have about the same performance. So let's set up that performance and show you how fast this unit really is.